How's it going, everyone? I'm Sir James coming at you guys with another lightsaber video, and this time we have the Cal Cross hilt. This particular lightsaber is made by TXQ and was obtained on NSabers website. So as always, if you are interested in the product that I'm reviewing in today's video, or just anything NSabers tends to offer from their wide range of selections, of course I do have my very own affiliation link and discount code located in the video description down below. Anytime that you use my discount code, not only do you save some money, but I also make some money as well. So in this case, it's a win-win situation and more opportunities for me to review cool stuff like this for you guys to check out. Now, yeah, the Cal Cross Lightsaber from Star Wars Jedi Survivors. I have to say, this particular hilt looks awesome. Now, some of you might comment and saying, wait a minute, didn't I do a review for a Cal Cross lightsaber already? And yeah, for those of you who've been along this channel for quite a bit, I have. The one that I did last year was by Ultimate Works, which was their V1 variation. But of course, that one was a more pristine condition. And by pristine, I mean it was clean, it was not weathered or anything like that. But here, now we have one by TXQ. And if you can't already tell, as you can see, this thing is weathered. And what I like about it is the fact that it's got its own little story behind it. And by story, meaning that, you know, whatever story you want to go with. But that's what I like about lightsabers that are weathered, because there's a story behind it. Why, something that you can make up your own lore for your character or cosplay and things like that. And it's pretty neat to see one that's all weathered and dirty and with the heat treatment on it. It just looks really, really well done. And of course, furthermore, not only is it well done, but it's also quite heavy. I did weigh this before doing, prior to starting this video. It does weigh in just a little bit over 3 pounds. It was like 3 pounds, 1.6 or 1.4 ounces, give or take. So yeah, not half bad. So let me go ahead and give you guys a closer look, starting with the upper emitter. Of course, you have the two side blades emitter as well, which of course do extend out, which I'll showcase in just a minute. As you can see, you got the heat treatments all the way across here, not only for the side blades, but of course where the main blade will go. Speaking of main blade, this will be using the 1-inch blade, so kind of keep that in mind. And as for side blades, yes, the side blades are included with this hilt by default, and I'll showcase that in just a couple of minutes. This is a 2-button activation, so right here is going to be one of the buttons, and on the other side is going to be the other. As to which is which, well, you just have to figure out. So it's kind of hard to tell because it matches both directions. So you'll figure it out as you go along. Now, stored in this upper chamber right here, this is going to be where your chassis is going to be housed in. Meaning that in this lower chamber here, it is completely empty and hollow. And if you recall my review on the past Cal Cross lightsaber, one of the things that I kind of liked with this particular hilt in question was the fact that the audio has to travel from this upper section here all the way down here, which amplifies the sound effects, especially for particular saber fonts, and it just sounds really cool and menacing. And of course, sound ventilation as well. And as mentioned, because this is the Cal Cross lightsaber, these do fold out, as you can see. So here's how it looks. Now, when these are opened up, I will point out that you might notice that the wiring is a little bit exposed, but not by much. And the heat treatment continues on here. Same thing on the other side. I like too, I just want to kind of point out, is that the weathering on it isn't like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not all perfect, you know, because what I mean by perfect weathering is where everything matches up quite well, meaning there's nothing mismatched. But on mine, at least how the weathering was done, I'm noticing like things are a little bit heavier on one side versus the other and things like that. Like, for example, on the intersection here that you don't really often see. So if you look like right in here, you can tell it's still weathered, but not as heavy. But if I flip this around, again, I don't know how well that's going to see. You can kind of see more splotches and things like that on there, which is great because I feel like, you know, that gives it more of a unique touch in the end. Before I open this up and show you the chassis, let me go ahead and bring the side blades over. But here is what the side blades are going to look like. As I mentioned, you do get this by default. So if there was ever an option where you can choose to not get a blade with the hilt, side blades will always be there by default. Typically, any site that lists a saber for sale that says, or that gives you the option of no blade, it's only preferring to the main blade itself. Because, you know, at a certain point when you start having a bunch of lightsabers, like for me, for example, you end up with a bunch of blades. And it's like, I don't need any more blades. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, unlike the Ultimate Works version where the threads were on the actual blade itself, there is this little metal piece that is attached to the blade, and this is how it secures into those NeoPixel connectors. You just kind of bring that over, and you do need to, you know, put just a slight pressure just so that way the grooves connect, and then you are good to go. Go ahead and secure this one, just like so. And then there it is with the side blades. Pretty easy to take off and pretty easy to put on. And so far, at least with my initial use, I have yet to have any issues putting on and off the side blades. Now next up, let me go ahead and show you the chassis because I really like the chassis on this one. Typically with the lightsabers by TXQ, you know, you would have your standard looking chassis that you've seen a million times already. And I know a million is more of an exaggeration, but you get the idea. The chassis on here is very nice looking. So first off, let's go ahead and do this side. You do have your removable battery. I like the fact that for the battery, and this is just a subtle little thing. Obviously, for some people, it's not a big deal. But, you know, for me, it's the little things in life that kind of make life better. I like the fact that there is a little pull tab here for the battery, because sometimes the batteries can be hard to get off. And the fact that this is here makes it so much easier. On the top here, you do have your USB-C charging ports. These are your two little buttons here, so if you were trying to check something while the saber is not plugged in, you could just press these instead. And of course, my little favorite little add-on here as well is the on and off kill switch. I wish kill switches were a staple in terms of every chassis for Ultimate Works, the TXQ, and hopefully in the future this will be a permanent fixture. On the other side, however, we do have access to our Profi board. So this is going to be the Profi one that I'm reviewing. And we got this nice golden little chassis here, which is really, really neat. And then, of course, there's our little pins, which will connect to the upper section of the emitter. So just be sure not to touch those. Now, I did check, of course, prior, is that, yes, I do have this fully on. But you just slide the pieces back in. Take the bottom half. As I mentioned, this bottom half is completely hollow, as you can see, while with the upper section, that's where the speaker stops. And when you have these pieces secured together, this upper section is holding the chassis in place, ensuring that there is pressure for the pins on the top, and that way the chassis is not falling down. So for example, just like that. And like I said, that is pretty well done indeed. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is that we're going to go ahead and take this outside. Obviously, this is a much larger saber. I need room to swing. I will note this ahead of time. I am very rusty. It's been a while since I've taken anything on the outside. And because of the weight factor, I was treating this more of a heavy saber because, well, in the game, it's a heavy stance that you use it. So that's what I'm doing. So we're going to go ahead and cut to that right now, and I'll be back with my kind of final results.
Is this training? My training? No. Always training. The universe is. You did your best. Dark Sith written. Yogo to banta todo.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the outside shots of the Helts. I gotta say, it handled quite well indeed. But now that we're back inside, I want to go ahead and give you the opportunity to go ahead and listen to the Helt a little bit better. Now that we don't have to worry about outside noises, traffic, whatever else is going to be happening on the outside. So as I mentioned, because of the chassis sitting on the upper section of the Helt, you do have all this extra space for the audio to slide down, which we're going to go ahead and enable. And we're just going to cycle through some of the Saber fonts, and I might even bring another Helt over just as a comparison.
General Kenobi. Kenobi.
Now, as a comparison, here is another lightsaber by TXQ. This is their Yoda saber. We're going to go ahead and go to that same Darth Maul one. Now, obviously here for the speaker, it is basically right there at the very bottom. So there's not much room for the sound to travel. So we're going to go ahead and activate this one first.
I can see him in my mind's eye.
As a comparison.
I can see him in my mind's eye.
Now, my favorite one is when we get to the pod racer. That's where it like really dances more. Like I said, some saber fonts sound great. Other ones, yeah, it would vary.
Remember, tell me.
Let's see.
Angel Dorks. You're going to Bantha Pudu. Angel Dorks. You're going to Bantha Pudu.
Now this is where it gets interesting. So we're gonna go ahead and activate this one. Versus this one. It's funny, I was trying to like twirl it. I was like, oh, it's already a tiny saber. I don't want to drop it. So that will kind of give you a little bit of an example of a lightsaber where it doesn't have a lot of, areas for the sound to travel down versus this one where you have a lot more extra space. We'll do one more here before a final conclusion. Never get tired of that one. That one and Pod Racer is like definitely one of my two favorites. But overall, the saber, when I was testing it out on the outside, swinging it and things like that, trying to figure out if stuff is coming loose, it was handling quite well. I didn't have or didn't notice anything that was kind of scuffing or scratching my hand while using. Nothing like that or out of the ordinary or things to worry about. The only thing I will mention is that if you keep playing with the hinges here, meaning that you keep folding them up, you keep folding them down, keep folding them up, etc., 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 you might notice over time where your, for example, this one here, as I keep messing with it, as you can see, this one is coming loose. Uh-oh, that's an issue, right? It's not that big of an issue. Like I said, it's more like if you just keep messing with it, you will find that the retention screws holding those in place might be coming loose just a little bit. In order to adjust that, just simply take your Allen key, look for these little sections here. You got one right here. There you go, right there. And then you have one on the complete other side. And then you're just going to go ahead and take this and just tighten those back down. If you wait too long while they're loose, there's a chance that those might come off, and you don't want that to happen. Like I said, that was not happening while swinging. It was perfectly fine. That's just me messing with it constantly that was causing it to loose. But as you can see, it's now not an issue. And these are holding strong in place just like that. That's the only thing to really point out, to be quite honest. But other than that, like I said, it is a fun lightsaber. It is definitely a heavy saber. I mean, again, it makes sense because in the game, it's a heavy stance saber, and it's also a fun one to mess with nonetheless. But what do you guys think about this lightsaber? Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, too, let me know if you guys are really excited for Andor Season 2 starting this week. I've been waiting, well, ever since I saw the release date for Andor Season 2. I can't wait to watch it this week. Let me know if you guys are excited. And, of course, since we had Star Wars Celebration already that passed by, was there anything that was announced that caught your attention? I know Hasbro's doing a Death Trooper helmet, which can't wait for that one. Some exciting shows and films. I also heard for Star Wars Visions, the Ninth Jedi apparently is going to be getting a series, which is great because I was kind of hoping it would be a full-fledged show. And things like that. Like I said, some pretty cool things, and I'm pretty sure there might be some more announcements maybe for May 4th. We'll have to kind of wait and see. I will be at Disneyland on May 4th, for those of you who are also curious. So if you happen to be there, feel free to say hi. Until then, you guys have a wonderful day, and always remember, may the Force be with you.